Begin UV1 sonic analysis. Cured by the power of ultraviolet light. Construction, 1 ply. Sonic potential, limitless. Competition, terminated.
Hey, welcome back to the Drum Rundown. Very special episode today from an undisclosed doom bunker outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm here with a good friend of the show on the other side of his band, Halestorm. This is Arejay Hale.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. Hey man, what's going on?
Thanks for coming back here behind the whatever this is.
Yeah, whatever this is.
We're getting real intimate back here.
So on the sister channel, The Rig Rundown, Lizzie and Joe, and I know Lizzie and Joe from back in Nashville, so it's fun to get to like close the loop. We always say we like to close the loop on this show and like finally give the drummer some.
Oh, right, give the drummer some.
Yeah, that's it. So been looking forward to talking to you about this. There's some familiar friends up here that I knew I would see and some things that I didn't think I would see. Let's talk about what's holding it all together. It's the Pearl kit.
Yeah.
It's always the Pearl.
Yeah.
Been with Pearl a long time.
Long time, I think since 2012, so yeah, like a while.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
What is it? What's math? Hold on, like 12
Dude,
years now, I think?
Let's not do math, man. Let's not do it.
I think it's been, like definitely over a decade for sure. And they've been great, yeah.
And you've had different kits. There's been, Master Series this and Reference that, so I see you're on a Reference.
Yeah, that was the first kit I got from them, and that was kind of the selling point for me with Pearl. I just love the way that they implement the birch layers in the smaller toms, the mahogany layers in the larger toms, and our front of house guy, Mike, was always pushing me to play Pearl. So I finally called him and I was like, all right, let's do this thing.
Yeah.
And the reference is just so easy. They tune themselves. This is an older kit. I've had this for a couple of years. We're actually in the process of getting their new Reference 1 series. And I'm really excited to play that one because I got to test a few out at Pearl headquarters in Nashville and they're just as amazing, which I was really, really relieved about.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to obviously do the old music, do the new music. You want something that's consistent.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been such a consistently perfect kit for us. It's so easy to tune. It sounds incredible. And when I found out that they were they weren't producing the Reference anymore and then switching to the Reference 1, my drum tech and I had a mini panic attack. We're like, oh no, But since trying them out, we're like, okay, we're good. Yeah. They're cool. Just as good, if not better.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. So in terms of the shell construction, I know the folks back home always want to know plies and wood. You spoke to the wood. What is the ply construction on these?
I have no idea.
Great. We'll put it in the description box.
That would be a Nikki question. Nikki, do you know the plies on these drums?
9.
9 ply?
Great. Put it in the comment section. We'll see.
Nikki,
somebody out there knows.
Nikki is my drumopedia, my walking drumopedia. My drum tech, my boy, takes good care of me and keeps me alive up here. So.
Yeah, and thank you back home to all of our techs. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much.
Shout out to you, Nikki, Bobby.
So we were talking when we were setting up that you have, some specific sizes that are kind of, specific
Yeah,
to you.
yeah, yeah.
So you want to run me around the sizes of the toms and talk about the kind of custom depths that you have?
Yeah, the current kit that I have right now, we customize these rack toms. These are 7-inch depths,
Okay.
10 and 12, and then we have a 13-13 over here, 14-14, 16-16.
Okay.
And but when we get our new kit, it'll be 14-14, 16-16, 18-16
Okay.
over here. But yeah, this is the current setup for that. So
And the kick
yeah.
drum.
Oh, and the kick drum is 20 by 20.
20 by 20.
It's a cannon, yeah.
So I'm starting to see something in the sizes that, you know, and I've heard, and I know that people chase this on the tone side, is more of a square, right? Where it's just as deep as it is wide. And there's some sort of tonal thing that, you know, people are chasing tone as they do with guitars. That's happening in drums as well. Do you find that there's something that you like about the tuning or the tone when you have the depth the same as
Can I be honest with you?
drummer? Yeah.
I just think it looks cool.
No, it does. It's a striking,
That's literally
thing.
But I will say that the 20-inch kick drum, what I was going for with this kit was to reduce my sizes down to smaller sizes because we're playing bigger rooms, arenas, and in arenas it's just an audio nightmare.
Yeah.
So playing the smaller, more concentrated sizes kind of give the drums more preciseness, more attack, more punch. Overall, and that's what I love about the 20-inch kick drum is it's so tight and punchy, and also a little easier to play with the smaller diameter. You get a little bit more rebound.
Okay.
So since bringing the double bass back, that's actually been really nice for me to build up my speed again with my left leg.
Right.
So, yeah.
And let's just jump right in there because that is one of the things that I didn't expect to see or that I was hoping to see because you mentioned that when you got into this last record cycle that you were at home, you were doing things, it was COVID, you did some double bass and you guys are kind of into some heavier material, so it's good to see the double bass back.
Yeah, I mean, all throughout Halestorm since the beginning of our first record cycle, well, when I was a kid, I played double bass. I played 2 bass drums. And then started really getting into John Bonham and started learning his technique of getting a lot of speed with my 1 foot.
Yeah.
And when we started touring, I was like, I want to apply that to this sound because I loved the idea of like getting away with doing fast stuff with only one foot. I just thought that was really impressive. So like, that'd be cool. But yeah, so during COVID, my good friend Taylor Carroll, who plays in Lit, we just started, you know, talking on the phone. We're like, you know, we haven't seen anybody in like a couple weeks. We're like, hey, you know, we got to stay busy. We got to stay creative. You want to, you know, hop on this new thing called Zoom. And, oh yeah, I think I have that. And just do some songwriting. And we just started writing stuff together. And we're like, oh, I love this stuff that we're writing. And we were like, what if we like made the drums really crazy? What if you started doing double bass again? It's like, okay, cool. Yeah. So I started, you know, writing drum ideas with crazy double bass parts and stuff. And that was when we were like, we should start a band. And we started Chemical Fire, my other project, and started working with Scott Stevens, the producer extraordinaire, and started sending him demos and writing with him. And he was hearing the drums that I was coming up with, and he was like, I love your energy with this. This is like, you can play this stuff? I'm like, yeah, this is stuff I really like to play, you know?
Yeah.
With Halestorm, it's always, you know, kind of had to be a little more simplified. And with Chemical Fire, I can really just go crazy. But since doing that, Scott was like, we need to bring this energy to Halestorm now. I was like, okay, great, you know? So we were writing together for Back from the Dead, our last record, and Scott was just throwing me all these crazy curveballs, all these crazy ideas, like, can you play this? Can you play that? I'm like, sure, why not? So by the time we got in the studio, I was like, I gotta, you know, dust off the double pedal and bring it back. And it's been really fun. I love playing double bass. It's really fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool. And so have you always had like the Demon like ready to go? Was that where you were going to go, or
yeah, that's the pedal.
That been your go-to?
That's
double?
Been my go-to since I started with Pearl. I think I try. I also love the Eliminator.
Yeah, of course.
I've never had an Eliminator, but I'm still like, that's kind of on my to-do list, is to like try out
give it a shot.
Some Eliminators. But I like the Demons because I like that you can mod out the footboards to longboards. Yeah. So yeah, you unscrew that thing, you flip it around, you reconnect it, you put it back on the foot plate and or the floor plate, and they're long, which is great. I mean, I always used longboards when I played singles, so I could slide my foot all the way up and down. So that's what I've been comfortable with for so many years. So when I started playing double again, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna keep the longboards. I like that in a pedal.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are tried and true. They just have a vibe to them.
Yeah,
so.
one of the best pedals I ever played was the Speed Cobra.
Yeah,
by
Speed
Tama.
Cobra.
Love that pedal. So when I hooked up with Pearl, they're like, oh well, the Demons also do the same thing. Like, you should try it, and I did, and it's just as easy and just as fast as those. So
that's cool.
Yeah, they're the perfect pedal for me. I love them.
Very rad.
And I'm playing the big old round wooden beaters on them too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what you're kind of keeping it in that, but you have wood beaters.
Yeah.
What's that choice?
See, I always thought to get more speed, I would need lighter beaters, but for me, anyway, just after kind of experimenting with, Nicky, my drum tech, throwing a couple ideas. He's always throwing new things at me, like, here, try this, try that, like, okay. And because he's got a vast knowledge of drums and gear. And so for some reason, the heavy beaters were actually easier for me. I could get more speed with the head, maybe because the fulcrum was kind of doing a lot of the work for me, having a little extra weight on the beater.
All right.
And also, the happy byproduct is more volume, more power, more punch from those. So I love those. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of people kind of playing with all kinds of different beater stuff, right? Skate wheels, big puffy wheels, big puffy things, and felt things, and whatever. I heard the other day we were doing a rundown, and they were like, you hit all of these other drums and heads with wood sticks. Why would you not hit the bass drum with also wood?
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, oh, you like glitch out, and you're like, it's common sense. It's like, duh, wood beaters, let's go.
For some reason, the wood just really adds a lot more punch than the plastic. I was playing plastic beaters, just, always had a hard beater on my kick drum. But these beaters are absolutely ridiculous. They're great,
and you're getting a lot of volume, obviously, out of, like you said, a traditionally smaller kick drum. Yeah.
Which I love the punchy kick drum.
Very cool. Well, let's talk about heads. We see Evans up. We have, what do we got? EC2s.
Yeah.
Cool. Clears.
They're great, yeah. Well, in the early days, I played the pinstripes.
Okay, yeah.
And those were like my go-to heads. So when I linked up with Evans, this was like the perfect alternative. So yeah, they've always been great. And I also love the hybrid. That's new. I always played the EC reverse dot, right? Yeah, EC reverse dot on my main snare. I actually got one on my side snare.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
And that thing is great. It refuses to break on me.
It
for
is
some
a
weird
very,
reason.
very rugged head.
But again, Nicky brought this in and put it on. It's like, try it, dude. And I did. And it's so loud and so bouncy too. The rebound on it is great.
We used it to line check the mics. I asked you to hit it. I was like, hit something loud, and you smacked this thing, and this whole arena was like rocking. So
we've done gigs where our front of house guy Mike will take the snare out of the mix. It's so loud. Yeah, I don't even have it in my ears. Like, it's just it's right there. You know?
I can attest. You don't need it.
It sounds really great, especially with this snare.
Yeah,
I wanted to talk about this snare. I've always been a metal snare guy.
Okay.
Going back to Bonham, I always played the Superphonics when I was playing with Ludwig, and the Acrolite, the hammered brass, the Black Beauty.
Okay.
But I started going down to a 13-inch size snare, and at the time they didn't make any metal 13s. So besides the Joey Jordison, that was like the only one. So Pearl threw me a wood snare, like, try it. I was like, really, wood snare? No, I like the metal, bang, 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 But this thing absolutely cracks, and this has a lot of plies. I think this is like a 30 ply, right, Nicky? The snare?
20
ply, yeah.
Wow.
20 ply, 13-inch snare, yeah. And that thing is you'll hear it in a second. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's cool. Anything else about the snare? About how you're setting it up? What is the resonant head on the bottom?
Oh, just a Hazy 500.
Okay.
I believe, which are a little thicker than the Hazy 300s, which is because I'll blow out bottom heads.
Yeah.
Because I'm playing with these crazy sticks here.
Right. Let's talk about the sticks while we're at it.
Yeah, I'm playing the hammers by Vater.
All right.
And I like them because they take a lot of the effort away from me. I feel like the stick kind of does a lot of the work for me now that it's so top heavy.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would like it, but as soon as I got used to it, I was like, oh, this is actually easier for me to get more volume and more power without having to put so much muscle behind every hit.
Yeah, and so we have no shoulder, no tip.
Nope.
We have butt to butt.
Yeah.
So you can't even pick it up backwards.
Yeah.
Which is convenient.
That's
you do
great.
a lot of
You
stick twirling.
Throw it in the air, you grab it
it's
on the wrong
never
end, it doesn't
coming-
matter. Yeah. Or you break it, you just flip it, and you're like, you got another stick. So yeah.
So you were talking a little bit when we were talking about the kick, about the fulcrum kind of taking care of a lot of the problem. Do you find something's happening in the stick as well, where the weight distribution of this stick kind of takes care of the problem?
Same principle, it seems like. Yeah,
Okay.
Again, I didn't know that having a heavier beater would actually help me with getting more speed. But you're right, I think it's same kind of thing. I don't have to push down so hard to get any volume out of it, especially on your weaker leg, which is always going to be a little bit lagging.
And so similar with the stick, you're not having to like push to get that power out of the fulcrum because of the weight balance.
Yeah, I played them in the studio, and our producer Nick at the time making the Vicious record was like, oh my God, like the toms are incredible. We also mic'd the toms inside in the studio, and we're actually doing that right now too.
All right.
We've got Audix D6s inside the toms, and we have the bottom heads cut out, and they just sound like cannons out front. Our front of house guy is like, I want like 7 kick drums back here. Yeah.
Which is rad. So these are technically concert toms if the bottom heads are cut out. Hey, we're always looking for another ally in the concert tom camp, because that's me.
Yeah.
And I love concert toms
Nice,
so much.
yeah.
You go to shows and things, and the front of house guys never know what to do, and it's like, put the microphone inside the drum.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what they did back in the day for that classic sound. And it seems like you're nailing it by having the microphone inside the concert tom.
Well, instinct would suggest that you wouldn't get as much snap off the tom if you're not miking it from the top. But for some reason, the way that we mic it with the D6s inside, not only do you get, a lot of punch and a lot of power, but you also get a lot of isolation. Yep. Which is nice because you're not getting a lot of cymbal bleed in the tom mix. They're all really isolated, which is great for front of house. And also for me too, it's nice not having all these mics around that I could accidentally hit, and I will. Yeah. I'll accidentally hit them, so it's definitely more cost effective.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there is something about just getting that mic in there at the point of where the air is moving, and that air is just attacking the diaphragm of the microphone, and it rips. So if you're in concert time and you're trying to figure it out, I'm telling you, get the microphones up inside there.
I tell everyone to try it. Just try it. See
Give it a
think.
go.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's go around and see what else we have in the drums. So I've got.
Oh, we got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about these two little dudes that are kind of.
These are rocket toms, and they're great. They just bark.
Oh yeah.
They're so fun. Hit that other one.
All right.
Yeah. You want to try it?
Yeah.
All right. I was giving you a stick there. Yeah,
they're
really fun. Yeah.
Dude, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, those are great. I got a little tiny 4-inch, 10 by 4-inch side snare.
Okay.
Like a little popcorn snare. And then I think that's all the Pearl stuff. And then I've got a bunch of stuff from LP, who I'm also sponsored by. I've got their Cowbell over here.
Right.
I've got mini Timbales over here. I've got a pot over here, which I don't know if they make anymore. And one thing I know they don't make anymore is right behind you is a street can.
Oh, wow.
Which is substituting for like a gong bass drum. But we put a bass drum head on it, and it just,
oh my goodness,
it's massive.
Yeah. There's a UV mat in there with the foam ring inside for the folks back home.
Yeah, we're actually
cover with B-roll right now.
There you go.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, that is an insane gong drum sound.
It's cool. Yeah, it actually works. Yeah. I wasn't sure. We were just like, we need like a mounted bass drum. Well, we don't have one. Well, we have an LP street can. Okay, let's try that. And it works. Yeah, it's great.
Cool. Well, I know you haven't left home without the Cowbell for basically your entire career.
That's right. I'll always have one.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you
Thanks to Will Ferrell.
Of course. How did you kind of decide to get to some of these other voicings, with the kind of like just really unique drums as auxiliary percussions?
I think it sounds horrible to say this, but I think like the more annoying I can be on stage, the better, I guess. Like the more I can bug the crap out of my bandmates, they'll hear something like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of a compulsion of some sorts. The reason I put it on this side was because I used to keep my cowbell over here, but then I switched it over there to do like more left hand cowbell stuff, and I was like, I need something right here, so I was like, I'll put a rocket tom there, sure,
Yeah.
I wish I had a more detailed memory of like why we start. I think it's just, you know, luckily Nikki is always down to go down that rabbit hole with me.
Right.
And anytime I'm like, let's add more shit, and he's like, cool, you know, fun, right? Awesome, let's do it.
Yeah, no, I'm into it because I think it's super fun and it definitely gives you a lot of places to go. Right.
And yeah, a lot of fun sounds
Yeah.
and a lot of things that'll cut through the mix, and yeah, it's fun for me
Yeah.
to have a lot of fun stuff to play with. So
Of course, and we would be remiss not to talk about the fun that you have when you're playing the solo, right? Because that's like become such a cool thing to like watch over the years, is just like that solo moment and have you kind of doing crazy things all around the kit. And there's obviously the star of the show is the big sticks.
Oh yeah, they're right back here.
Yeah, we're right back here.
Let me grab those.
See if you can get to them. I know I should have.
We keep them in
ready.
we keep them in this fancy road case.
Yeah, dude.
A D'Addario road case. So yeah, here they are. And they got some weight to them. You know, if you feel they got some ass. Yeah.
This is so cool.
Oops, I dropped.
I've watched these a lot of times with you just ripping this super fun solo. So just for my own nerdiness, what was the genesis of getting to the big stick for the solo?
That dates a long time ago. Back in the local Pennsylvania days, there was a fan that was coming out to our shows, and he was a franchise owner of a Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay.
And he's like, we got these big drumsticks just hanging on the wall, and one of the stores is closing, and we're just gonna throw them away. Do you want them? And I'm like, sure, you know. So he brings them out to a show, and he's like, here you go. You can, you know, put these up on your bedroom wall. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna play them tonight. I'm gonna play with them. He's like, okay. So I did it, and the crowd went nuts, and now we're stuck with it.
Yeah.
Now we can't do a show without them.
It's very, very cool. Well, that's what an honor to see these things up close and in person, and to actually get to touch the sticks.
I mean, they're the reason we have to replace all the drum heads for every show.
Right. So
sorry, Nikki.
Thank you, Evans and Promark,
there you
for
go.
that awesome moment. Cool. Well, let's get into what else is up here that's fun to play, and it's Zildjians.
Cymbals, yeah.
Yeah, cymbals. There's a whole family of stuff up here. I see some A's. I see some other things. You want to run around the horn? We can start over here and just go.
Well, first off, I really want to say I'm so proud to be one of the artists to represent the new Z Customs.
Very cool.
They just put them out. You know, they rebooted them or whatever. Yeah. I played Z Customs, you know, for back in the old days, and so I was really stoked when they were coming out. So we hit them up right away. It's like, hey, we'd be interested in, you know, sporting your Z Customs on this next big tour we're doing. And they were like, cool, we'll send you some. So
that's awesome.
These are great. I was playing the A heavies. I love the A heavies too, which were like I would say like maybe third or fourth generation past the Z Customs, since they were, you know, discontinued. So yeah, I'm really glad we have these. We've got 18, 19, 19, 18 Z Custom crashes, 18-inch Z Custom China back here. We call it the stop sign, satellite dish, whatever you want to call it. And then yeah, we can just kind of go from left to right.
Let's do it.
16-inch FX, or I'm sorry, 16-inch trash China over there. 9-inch trash splash, 7-inch Volcano cup, Zil-Bell. I think this is an 18-inch, is this an S series? Oh yeah, 18-inch S series China over there. And then playing 13-inch hi-hats. So I'm playing the Dyno beats right now, and they're both bottoms.
Okay.
Because we would break hi-hats like crazy. So we just went with 2 bottoms, so they're nice and thick and they don't break. And something new I just started implementing were trash stacks. So I've got the Zildjian FX stack over here. And then this one is kind of a homemade thing. Okay. I'll take it apart to show you, but I've got a 9-inch trash splash on the top here. And then this is the secret. We put the Zildjian Blast Bell ride. Blast Bell. Just Blast Bell. Why did I call it a ride? I don't know. You could play it as a ride. If it's a very small ride.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So we stack the Blast Bell underneath the splash, and it gives us another cool little unique trashy stack.
That is definitely the first time I've seen that configuration ever attempted, and that sounds rad.
Yeah, that's just me and Nikki messing around with stuff and trying new things, just digging up all the old gear, like, what else can we add to this monstrosity, you know?
That's the funnest part of stacks, is just like you can get away with so much, and you can kind of just like do whatever, and as long as the end result is something the front of house doesn't veto
Yeah.
and hate, then you're good to go.
I love the like little quick,
Yeah.
like low sustain little, when you're doing a fill down the toms, and you just go to the trash stack for 2 hits
Right.
or whatever, gives it this kind of cool dimension to
Right.
a drum fill. So I've got those two. I'm currently using the A Heavy Mega Bell ride, which is trusty and will never break, and it'll probably, my grandkids will probably get this.
Knock on wood.
I'm hoping at some point to get a Z Custom Mega Bell
Okay.
on here now that they're making those again. Over here, 9-inch Zil-Bell, and then this is a 19-inch A Heavy Ultra Hammered China,
All right.
which again, like they don't make them anymore, so we'll probably swap that out for Z Custom as well at some point. Then another 14-inch trash, and then another little 7-inch Volcano cup bell over here. So originally I had the blast bell over here and a splash up there, but since we moved the blast bell to make a stack, then we grabbed another Volcano cup over here because I was so used to having all the bells around me. So we have like 5 bells on the kit now.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. And you
it's
have
ridiculous.
like equally that many Chinas. It just seems like there's kind of some sort of fun thing on both sides. Is that
Yeah.
like an intentional thing where you like to have certain options on both sides of the kit for when you're kind of going around, you always want certain things there? Because
Yeah,
it seems like we
yeah,
got China's here and China's there, and also splashes and effect cymbals.
Yeah, it's convenient if you're doing a fill down your left or down your right. You don't have to like reach over.
Yeah.
And also it's just fun to kind of like, do one of these. So.
Sure. Yeah, because you're certainly not. You're like a very understated, non-flashy drummer. I heard that about you.
I haven't.
No, that's very cool. So in terms of just like picking things, are you just going for the individual character of the cymbal? Are you trying to get it to sit in a tonal family? Is it just kind of it's wide open?
Not really. It's just kind of a free-for-all
Yeah.
because like when I'm playing, I'm just like kind of all over the place. If I'm riding on the crash, I'll switch to this crash or that crash or go to my left hand or whatever. So, all my crash cymbals are just kind of consistent just for arms flailing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course. Cool. And then in terms of how you're hearing it all when you're back here, we like to say, how do you take your coffee? What is your kind of mix preference? Like
Oh.
you're on in-ears
Yeah.
up here, so like kind of what is in your mix?
For years playing in Pennsylvania, we were just so used to like not having any monitors.
Yeah.
Kind of playing by smell, as we used to call it. So for my mix, I usually just kind of like to prioritize things that I need to hear. A lot of times if we're doing a jam, I need to really lock into Joe's guitar playing.
Okay.
So I have him pretty cranked in my mix. I've got my vocal mic cranked in my mix to make sure that I'm in key, and
Sure.
because you're back here playing, you're breathing heavy and you're like, gotta steady the voice, That's the other thing, is playing and singing at the same time is
Yeah.
like the biggest challenge. Yeah.
Right, which is something we don't generally get to talk about because most drummers aren't, giving vocal, things to the band. So talk to me a little bit about what it's like to kind of sing as a drummer.
Well, it's kind of a necessity in our case because we don't run any backtracks.
Right.
We don't even play to a click track, which is harder for me actually because I have to memorize the tempos.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was always kind of our goal. It's like if we can do it, we should really just strive to do it as a band. And I've been taking vocal lessons for years. I've been singing for years and writing music, and I actually love singing. I've got a passion for singing for sure.
Cool.
So any chance I get to sing on stage, I'm happy about it. And
That's great.
And that's why we rigged up this little mic stand behind you here.
Yeah.
Duck.
Bring it on in.
Okay, there you go.
It's very intimate up here.
And yeah, we got this attached to a weighted
Okay.
mic stand, and we kind of rigged up this system to so it's got some stoppers. So yeah, Duck again, I'll demonstrate. Just stay there.
All right.
So I can swing it out and it stops. I can swing it back and it stops. And hold on. Okay, you're up. You're good.
Cool. Awesome. And look, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
The little stopper stuff is ingenious.
That was another goal of ours
what a
too
cool
with
thing.
this kit, was to replace any mic stand hardware with drum hardware.
Okay.
So we got these little quick release clips, and we started just implementing the mics into the kit. And even the tom mics themselves, if you look inside there, they're mounted to the lugs. They're just like kind of just
Right.
mounted to the shell.
We're
right
not
there.
looking at a Kelly shoe situation. We're
No,
looking
no,
at
no, yeah.
hardware right into the lug screw.
That is Home Depot.
Awesome. A little bit more cost effective than a Kelly shoe system, for sure.
Maybe someday we'll upgrade to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so speaking of that, and just kind of, no backing tracks, there's no digital sounds. You used to have an SPD SX, and like that's gone. So
I
you're
just
just doing
sucked at
everything. Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
There's such small targets, and I'm like arms flying, and I'm like trying to get the right little square, and I'm playing with these, so I'm probably gonna break it if I hit it too hard. So just to make it easier on everybody, just for how non-tech savvy we are, it just makes it easier for all of us.
Right.
And that's another handy thing about having all these sounds. Like for instance, we are going to be playing this new song that we collaborated with I Prevail. We wrote it together with them called Can You See Me in the Dark? And they produced the track, and there's all these electronics and all these amazing, really cool electronic drums and loops and things going on. And for us to be able to perform the song, I have to do my best to recreate all those sounds on acoustic instruments. So I'm using the street can, the side snare, the mini timbales, everything. So doing my best to like recreate the magic there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because I know you've mentioned before that you like love hip hop drumming and you like some of the hip hop
yeah.
sounds. So it's like you kind of get to incorporate some acoustic things to try to recreate maybe some iconic 808 sounds. Or
That's
something
probably
like
like my favorite stuff to play on drums is to put on hip hop and just jam along to it. I used to always I still do. I love to like put my headphones in and warm up to it. And it's great because you're playing to a machine, so it just really forces you to, space out your drum fills, space out your hits, so they're absolutely perfectly on the grid. And so that was kind of like drumming boot camp for me, actually.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure it helps when you're playing in an arena every night, like you said, not to click, not to backing tracks, and just with your band in your ears. That's a very raw, real rock and roll thing, and that's very cool to see at this like huge arena tour level.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure for me to like really keep everything consistent because I'm leading them. I'm driving the band back here, and I can't be getting sloppy. If we all listen to a click, it'd be easy because, at least we have a foundation to listen to. But I have to like be that support for them.
Yeah. Well, it's very cool to see. And what a cool tour package we were talking about, just like you guys with I Prevail. That's so rad. What's it been like kind of getting ready to go out on the road? I know you were going out on Monday when this is being filmed.
Yeah.
What's it been like going out with a band that, like you said, you guys are going to kind of have two different crowds that are kind of coming together for these shows?
I think it's going to be cool. I think that they're going to bring a whole new audience for them, and I hope for us, and I hope that we can do the same for them. We're going to see them in a couple of days. We met them a while back at a festival in Europe, and they were just super cool. And my fiance is like a mega fan. She's become a metalhead. When we first started dating, like we were listening to pop. I love pop music. I love hip hop, pop, and like everything. And we were listening to like Harry Styles and Billie Eilish and Lizzo and Taylor Swift and all this stuff. And now she's listening to I Prevail and Slipknot and Sleep Token and it's funny because I've been in the rock and metal world for years, but when I'm not working, I need to like take a break from it.
Sure.
So I like listening to like Rufus Du Sol, Oscar and the Wolf, all these kind of niche electronic pop kind of artists. And but now we're in the car and she's blasting Slipknot, and now I've kind of become a metalhead all over again.
Yeah. Well, and look, dude, it's wearing off. Now you got double pedals are back. Yeah. Thanks.
And I'm really excited to tour with Gabe because that guy is just an assassin on the drums. He's an incredible, technically brilliant drummer. So I have a feeling I'm going to learn a lot from him. Just being around him and watching him every night.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And nerd out about gear.
Oh yeah, I love his. I don't know if you've seen his YouTube channel.
We need to check it
Drum
out.
Beats Online.
We'll put a link in the
Shout out to Drum Beats Online. From one YouTuber to another. Only my YouTube channel is about fragrance. So yes, I have a fragrance channel called Dr. Magnificent, because I'm also a perfumery nerd. So, but that's beside the point. We'll cut that out.
No, we're going to put it in the description box. Yeah, we're putting the link in the description box.
Don't keep that in.
Chris said we're not allowed to edit it out. So
I made my bed. Anyway.
Very cool. Well, we're excited to see the tour. We'll catch I Prevail hopefully on a rig rundown, maybe on the back end of this tour, so we can talk to Gabe about all of the
and also
nerdy stuff.
shout out to Hollywood Undead and Fit for a King. So stoked to have them out with us.
Yes,
too.
Hollywood Undead. What's up,
Yeah.
Anthony Gazelle?
We've known
Rock
Yeah.
Loss. He's gonna have you in. So
we've known them for a long time
yeah,
too.
very
so.
cool. No, that's a great tour package, and
Yeah,
I'm very excited to see you guys out on that. We'll catch you down in Franklin. I guess we'll try to come and see you when you guys come.
Please do.
And cruise through. That's awesome. You guys should go check out Halestorm with all of those awesome bands that RJ just mentioned out on the Back from the Dead tour. Arejay Hale of Halestorm, thanks for sitting down on
Dude.
this very cool show called the Drum Rundown.
Thanks for getting all cuddly close back here with me.
Of course. I had a great time. We'll see you guys on the next one.